Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie.
Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. For more information on how the CCIDA can assist your business, visit choosechq.com.
From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives, to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check it off, because we make getting vaccinated easy. You've got this, because we've got you. To learn more, visit yougotthis.usaging.org.
From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Morning, everyone, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. If you are new to the area or visiting, welcome. I'm Doc Hamels, and we've got an interesting show in store for you, as always. And we're going to be talking about something that probably a lot of you go, ew, why would we want to know about all that? And what we're going to be talking about is probably like the lifeblood of our county and our daily lives, and it's called economic development. And we're going to be digging deep in all the good stuff that folks that are my guests today are working on your behalf behind the scenes that a lot of times you don't even know about, but we try to put a spotlight on those projects and things that make our county better, okay? So please stick around, we got a great show. And always remember, if you can't watch the whole show, it's gonna be on throughout the week at 2 and 8, 14 times a week. And we're gonna be with my very good friends at WRFA 107.9, low power to the people. On Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, okay? So if you can't catch everything today and you're driving down the road, you can tune in and you can hear the soundtrack of our show. And of course, you can go to YouTube, you can go to our Facebook page, but YouTube will be there forever and ever. As long as there's YouTube, I guess. So anyways, we got a good, very interesting show in store for you. All right, I want to say good morning to all of you across the Chautauqua County that are watching us live right now on Spectrum 1301. And for those of you that are watching us through our streaming system, I don't even know what to call it, through streaming, anywhere in the world. And I know maybe, Karen, are you watching down in Kenya? I know you're down there right now with your friends, James and so forth. And let's see, Natalia over in the Ukraine and all your friends. Hang in there. Good afternoon. You're in the afternoon, we're still in mornings. And glad you could join us. And of course, anyone that's watching us throughout the United States, we cover everywhere. We're everywhere. Okay, so throughout the show, you may have a question or comment, and you might want to announce a fundraiser, something that's going on in your neighborhood for your church or organization. And we are more than happy to announce it here. All you got to do is call, watch this, magic. See how that happened? Just pops right up. You can call us at 716-753-5225 throughout the show, and we're done by 10 o'clock every morning here on Saturdays. Or if you are shy, you can call that number. Randy will answer the call with a very pleasant voice. Take your message, write it down in only his form of English. He'll give it to Justin, who will secretly hand it to me, unbeknownst to you on this, watching it on TV, and I will make that announcement. Or you can email us at Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm very dramatic some mornings. Chautauqua Sunrise, all one word, at gmail.com, and we will get your announcements or whatever you want to share throughout the week, and then we announce it free of charge, because that's what we do here. Okay, Valentine's Day weekend, I don't know. Someone said, I listened, said, it's not Valentine's, it's Valentine Day. Okay. I hope you had a nice Valentine Day, or maybe today is your celebration and doing something special with a person that's special in your life. Barbara and I went out for dinner, had a nice dinner with some friends last night, and I know a lot of people were just kind of taking time to appreciate each other, and that's important. We have something going on here in Chautauqua County as we speak, and I want to share a little bit about it. And I don't even know how long it's been forever, that they've been having on President's Day weekend, so that's this weekend, coming right now, something called the Ice Castle. What then became Winter Festival, then so forth. But us locals, we know it as the Ice Castle weekend. And probably you read that there was some concern that they weren't going to have it because of insurance, and that makes sense. But then the local folks said, wait a minute, we're going to do this, and they took over. So I wanted to share just a few things with you that is going to happen. And I don't have the complete list. I just stole it out of the paper for this morning because maybe you didn't see it. But the castle, if you are not familiar with the whole thing, is actually made out of ice that's in Chautauqua Lake. They cut it just like in the old days, and I've seen it done now with chainsaws and big old saws, and then they have some kind of a conveyor system, and they put it over down right here in Mayville, down at the Mayville Park, all right off of Route 394. And they built a structure, and I'm told, Justin, I don't know if you know this, but it's the largest castle, ice castle ever. So I've heard. So you've heard. And I forgot how many blocks. If I say it, it's going to be wrong, but I'll say it anyways. I think I heard 1,800 blocks. And there's little side places, and they're supposed to be doing something different, and it just sort of leaves you hanging. I don't know what it is. But I did see a picture a couple nights ago that maybe they were kind of like testing things out, and it looked beautiful. That's all I can tell you. And if you haven't been to an ice castle, and it's been a while because we've had some really nice warm winters and didn't have any ice on the lake to speak of, or it got too warm. This has been the first castle in some time, and the pictures I've seen so far are really fun. And you might say, well, why would I go out there? Well, they got some things going on. Okay, you can look part of the medallion hunt. They've been putting clues in the newspaper so you can go find a medallion wherever it's buried and you win a prize. I know a lot of people like to do selfies, of course, and you can go down there and they have something called a selfie contest. I'm not sure what the rules are, but you can check it out. There's a karaoke contest. And then this one I'm not familiar with. It's called an Antique Roadshow. I mean, I know what an Antique Roadshow is, but it must be someone's come in and doing that. And then there's face painting, of course. And then tonight, this is Saturday, at 8 o'clock, boom booms. They're going to have fireworks, and that's unbelievably beautiful. If you're in front of the castle and they're shooting off the fireworks behind it, and they have the castle usually all lit up, it's a pretty spectacular night. And generally, there's things like some food and things like that. So it sounds like a great day for getting out there. And I also saw, where was it? You can do your own snow sculpting and things like this. So we were talking before the show, people are always saying, oh, there's nothing to do in Chautauqua County. Well, if you watch this show, you know that's not true. And this is one of those premier events in Chautauqua County, especially in the wintertime. So please check it out. And today's the day. Not saying you can't go tomorrow, but today's the day weather-wise, because they're saying tomorrow's going to get kind of wonky, and just be careful. But it's supposed to be beautiful. The temperatures are supposed to get into the 30s, and we're in some light snow. But well, heck, it is the middle of February, okay? So check out the Ice Castle right here, Mayville, New York, just down the road on 394. Okay, all right. So I got an update here. Here we go. Okay. Oh, thank you. It's Valentine's with an apostrophe S. So it's singular with, okay, thank you. I got it. Okay. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you is last week we had Lori Pless on here, the town supervisor of Ripley, and we were having a nice chat. And I said to her, I think you're the first lady, female, woman, town supervisor to head up Ripley. Well, then the former town supervisor, Doug Bone, called me the other day. He says, well, I love the show. It was a great show, but he said, I got to share something with you. That's a technical correction. And I go, oh boy, here we go. What did I say wrong? Well, here it is. Lori Pless is the first elected town supervisor. She is the second appointed female town supervisor, because years ago, Debbie Hunt filled in for Dean Uteg, who got sick, and so she was technically the first female town supervisor, but Lori is the second appointed and then first elected. So there you go, Doug. If you're watching, we got it figured out. Okay, let's go on to some my only announcement today. That's it, Justin. Short list today. If you go to the Reg Linnaeus Theater, this is what's going on the next couple of weeks. I'm going to say these the best I can. First of all, oh man, this one's already happened. This was yesterday. I can't even talk about it. By the way, in case you did, I hope you enjoyed Wicked yesterday. It was shown, and that's one of these Grammy award-winning kind of things, and it's won all kinds of awards with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, and I've just heard good things. I've seen clips of it. It's pretty spectacular, and but maybe they'll bring it back again. So let's leave that alone. And this week coming up, exploring the unlikely rise of the beloved king of the Pride Lands, Mufasa, the Lion King. It's going to be shown this coming Wednesday, February 19th at 2 p.m. and Friday, the 21st at 7 p.m. You know, kids are on break right now, so I'm sure that's why they're going to have a show during the week, during the day. It enlists Rafiki to relay the legend of Mufasa to young lion cub Kiara, daughter of Simba and Nala, with Timon and Pumbaa. I'm trying to remember which one. Pumbaa is my favorite. Lending their signature shtick. Told in flashbacks, the story introduces Mufasa as an orphan cub, lost and alone until he meets a sympathetic lion named Taka, the heir to a royal bloodline. The chance meeting sets in motion an expansive journey of an extraordinary group of misfits searching for their destiny. Their bonds will be tested as they work together to evade a threatening and deadly foe. Mufasa, the Lion King, is rated PG and it's 118 minutes long. So that sounds like a great family show. Again, February 19th at 2 and Friday, February 21 at 7. Then there's some upcoming movies. And again, this is all at the Reg. The Oscar nominee for Best Actor, Adrian Brody, in the Best Picture nominee, The Brutalist. That's going to be shown March 1 at 7. Then we have Lily Rose Depp in director Robert Eggers, Nosferatu, March 5th at 7 p.m. I'm thinking that these are the names of the shows. Buster Keaton's Sherlock Jr. with REM's Monster and New Adventure in Hi-Fi, a silence synced film, March 12th. This one is Letters, SZA, and Keke Palmer in the comedy One of Them Days on March 14th. And Best Actress nominee Fernanda Torres in the Oscar nominee for Best Picture and Best International Feature in I'm Still Here on March 19th. They don't pay me enough to say these words and these names, Justin. We got to renegotiate this. Tickets are usually $8 in person, $10 online. And if you have questions about the shows coming up, give them a call at 716-484-7070. So lots of good things, lots of movies showing up. All right, I think that's all I have to talk about right. Oh, I almost missed this one. Congratulations to Nick Sirianni, local guy. Ever hear of him, Justin? We have this ongoing battle of football teams here. Congratulations to Nick and the Philadelphia Eagles. They won the Super Bowl. And boy, I tell you, it was a joyous night in our house just watching them win. Profoundly won. And it was really an interesting game to say the least. So congratulations to Nick and the team. And we'll see what happens next year for the Bills. We're going to take a little break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
I see my friends out there getting waves. It's like, it's hard. It was a surprise to me when they told me I had MS. It's like, you sure?
Well, this is a virtual reality rig, and this is going to allow Steve to see and experience the waves that I ride.
Put that on your head. Whoa.
Very cool. You know, there are a lot of folks that are afflicted with diseases and conditions that they just can't experience a lot of things that we do. And boy, that technology is outstanding. And I liked it when he said, "Whoa," because I know these cameras and things that you can put on your heads. I don't even know what to call them, lenses and things that they're pretty real. So, anyways, thanks for sharing that, Jeff. We try to get these kinds of public service announcements out. All right. Enough of that. I want to welcome to the show two folks from the Chautauqua County Partnership for Economic Growth. Chautauqua County Partnership for Economic Growth. I can't read my own writing. And if you're in my world, we know it as CPEG. So Monica Simpson and Nate Aldrich, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Doc. Thanks for having us. Yeah. Good to be here.
This is your first time with me, and this is always fun because I love meeting people and learning a little bit about their lives and what you all do for a living. Did I hit it right? Economic development isn't talked a lot by people. I mean, it's not like sitting around the table and saying, well, by the way, you know, how's this going and how's that going? People, it's kind of a niche kind of a thing, isn't it?
I think you're right about that. I think we're trying to get the word out more and more as we've talked about, and sharing, what's going on positively in the county, both from projects, community development type things, as well as business investments. But I think you're right. There's definitely more to let the public know about.
Yeah, and this is kind of a topic that people are not necessarily comfortable with because they don't necessarily have learned about it or know about it or get involved with, or they just say, well, that's my investor's job or my financial whatever and so forth. I was looking at my notes where I said I got stuck on the word growth because it looks like grout. I got to work on my better penmanship here. And then we're going to talk about a little something later on called the Ambassador Program, and I'm kind of interested in that. And that's what caught my eye to begin with. And I wrote to Jason Sample, who was here earlier. He's with the IDA. And I said, well, yeah, we'll talk about that, but we got some other stuff we want to talk about too. And so first, before we get really into the weeds here, I want to talk a little bit about you. So Monica, tell us a little bit about yourself and whatever you want to share.
So I've been here for just over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Buffalo. I've lived in Philadelphia and San Antonio. My husband's from Brockton originally. We live in Forestville.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 kids, so we're helping with the population here.
You want to do a shout out to them?
Charles and Vera, hi. But when I first moved here, it was kind of culture shock. I'm from the city of Buffalo originally. There's no traffic lights or street lights in Forestville. I never used my high beams before, so it was definitely a transition for me. And I felt like a program like this, the Workforce Ambassador, would help other new people transition into the county much better. So
Okay.
I'm really excited that they let me run with this program and get started. But it's been a great opportunity working for the partnership for the last 5 years. I really like what I do.
Okay. Is the partnership part of something else, or is it a standalone?
So we are the nonprofit arm of the CCIDA. It's actually the Chautauqua Regional Economic Development Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
And we have multiple funders, including the Ralph Wilson Foundation, the Chautauqua County, the IDA, the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation, and the Gebby Foundation. So they help us get our day-to-day work done.
Okay.
So.
And your title is?
Partner Engagement Coordinator.
What does that mean?
I like talking to people. I'm the outgoing person in our group, so I manage our 5 work groups. So we have business development, workforce development, a housing work group, infrastructure, and placemaking. So we get stakeholders, high-level stakeholders for each one of those work groups, and I manage those meetings, and I manage the ambassador program, and a lot of outreach to our partners.
Okay, we'll talk more about this as we go along.
Yeah.
So, are you familiar with the Chautauqua Leadership Network?
I am. I was in the class of 2016, best class
Class
ever.
of 97.
Nice. Yeah.
They dragged me in for a meeting as a one of those 25-year-old, 25-year veteran type thing. So yeah, I still stay connected with those folks.
I helped with the new branding they have.
Oh,
So I
good.
was on the board, yeah.
Good. Yeah, good. Well, we were talking about pins earlier. I had my old leadership pin, and they said, Katie Young says, "Oh, we got a different."
Yeah, different logo. Yeah.
I like my pin. How in the world did you get involved with this stuff? I mean, is this something you thought, here I'm 10 years old and I really want to get into economic development?
So I think my journey started when I worked at the University of Buffalo at their economic development. Then I worked at the Fredonia Technology Incubator, so I had 7 years experience there. And then I transitioned down the hall, started working for Nate for the partnership about 5 years ago. But I really liked economic development. You're right, most people don't know what we do day to day. But we try to make Chautauqua County a better place to live, work, and play. That's what it comes down to.
And that's why you're here on my show, because we want to talk about that stuff. That's terrific. Now, you use the word, I do this all the time during the show, and this is not to make a joke, but when I always hear incubator, we always think of chickens.
Right.
So what is an incubator?
They help with small businesses with all the services they need to get to really make their business grow. So like hatching an egg, you want to hatch your business.
Okay, and I'm familiar with that, I'm familiar with that. And so let's go on to Nate here. Nate, you and I have known each other for a number of years. When I've been on the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation for a number of years, and I remember you presenting it from time to time, and you were in the very beginning stages of this economic development with Rick Johnson and a bunch of other folks. So tell us how you got involved with all these things.
Yeah, so really my journey working in the county specifically started almost 9 years ago when I started with the county planning and economic development department back in 2016 as a planner. I did that for approximately a year.
So you worked with Don McCord?
I did.
I know Don.
Yep.
He's been on the show too.
Then I took, as you mentioned, Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation. After about a year in for the county, I sort of pivoted and went to work for them as a private consultant. And that role for about 2 years was focused on working with the 10 or 12 North County municipalities to provide really municipal technical assistance for community development and planning. And then while that was kind of heating up, if you will, then County Executive George Borrello had proposed this Economic Development Alliance. And Mark Geis kind of recruited me back to the county at that point. So I've been.
And he came back too.
He did.
He left and came back.
Yep. So I've been in this current role for almost 6 years now, both for the County Department of Planning and Development, IDA, and what has grown to be this Chautauqua County Partnership for Economic Growth Initiative, as Monica mentioned, lives under the IDA's subsidiary nonprofit Critic.
Oof.
And so that's a good thing to get off now. If we use an acronym that you don't know, please stop us.
I will. Don't trust me.
We'll explain.
Okay. So where did you grow up and all that?
So grew up in Fredonia. Some of the people out in TV land may know my last name is Aldrich, Aldrich Dairy, who started by my grandfather,
for sure.
Leonard, back in the 50s, and taken over by my father and my uncle. So really grew up in that kind of industry. And
so you didn't have culture shock?
No,
like Monica.
Grew up in the Fredonia area. I saw at the time, generally that was around when I was graduating high school, the Great Recession, and our own family business declining, and really that's what sort of inspired me to go on in my education and pursue career in planning and development, give back to the county.
Cool, very good. And so I'm sitting here and people are going like, all right, economic growth and development. So who wants to define that? What does that mean?
So really, what it boils down to ultimately is quality of life, right? And, you know, that's making sure folks in the county have opportunities to, you know, jobs that have family-sustaining wages. But it's not that simple, right? It's not just about jobs and business incentives. We're trying to create a community where people want to live, want to visit, want to work. So a lot of our work is sort of the county and IDA really for so long being focused on supporting, which is critically important, our existing manufacturers, helping new companies, you know, come and locate here and grow through the IDA tax incentives, which Mark Geist will talk more about next month when he's in. But the partnership acknowledges that there's a whole other aspect to economic prosperity and quality of life. Again, having downtowns that are attractive and welcoming to small businesses, working with our workforce development partners to solve workforce issues, increasing tourism, extending visitor stays and spending to support our hospitality businesses, helping to get projects from idea to implementation, whether they're infrastructure, downtown revitalization, Parker Trail improvements, activating our waterfronts. There's a whole host of projects in these 5 work groups, as Monica described, that we're Monica's role is to engage our partners and queue up these opportunities. And really what our work boils down to, in the last 5 years or so, we've been able to, and I'll point out without taxpayer dollars, by partnering with philanthropy and other sources, as Monica mentioned, the Wilson Foundation, our local foundations.
Sure, I'm familiar with that.
To create a small team, we have about 4.5 people for the partnership.
Well, it's really short, right?
Yeah.
And supported by some consultants that we are able to help our communities, our other economic development partners be more competitive for state and federal resources to ultimately implement projects that move the needle in the economy.
Okay, all right.
Create
So
stronger, better places for our residents and visitors.
when you were saying about bringing people and improving the lifestyles of people in Chautauqua County, are you seeing this? I'm seeing this. I think I'm seeing this. That people have left the county and are coming back. Is that true? A little bit? Some?
Chautauqua County has been unlike most of its peer communities, right, in the Rust Belt, has been losing population since 1970 or so.
Right.
So there's so many issues that go into that. We're focused on what we can control, right? There's things outside of our control. But all the things I mentioned, and we can get into some of the specific projects, Monica and Jason Sample have, as Monica will talk about more, this Workforce Ambassador program and the Live CHQ campaign is our sort of role in to tell the world, but also people that live here already, what our assets are, what a great place to live.
A lot of people don't even know that. That's why you're here today, is to talk about some of this stuff.
Our 5 lakes, our 400 miles of snowmobile trails.
That's a great place to live here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, and so where I was going with that is I've run into people over the last 10 years that they grew up and they say, I'm getting out of Chautauqua County, blah, 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 and then they go wherever. And then they come back and they say, it wasn't so bad. Prices of housing are much better, taxes are much better. I've got a pure, cleaner lifestyle here. We were talking about noise and things like that when we were up in Buffalo. And it's not to take away from Buffalo, it's a city.
Yeah.
But the noise level is different, the light level is different. You said you use your high beams for the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's where I live, we have a signal, one red light, same with most of us. So it's a different lifestyle, and people can embrace it, and they forget that, and when they come back, they go, oh my gosh, the water tastes so much better, the whatever.
The air's cleaner.
The air is cleaner.
Yeah.
So, and one more term I want to go back to, family sustaining wages. This goes back to the Mark Thomas days when I used to work with him on some projects at the county level. What does that mean, family sustaining wages?
Well, ultimately it's, wages that will support a family to get and stay out of poverty and to provide the resources where they can live a happy and healthy lifestyle.
So if you have good industry and you have work opportunity that provides good wages, there you can get into that world, right? You can get a job that has enough so that you don't have to have 5 jobs, right?
Absolutely, and that's really the focus of the CCIDA, to support our existing businesses, to retain jobs, and Mark will get into the new job creation we've seen over the last several years. But whereas the partnerships role really is supporting quality places to live, amenities for people,
Right.
creating that community where we can attract and retain residents and people are proud to call home.
So, Monica, I'm going to ask you a tough question.
Sure.
All right. Let's just say there's 500 businesses in Chautauqua County, and yet I read where such and such company went belly up, so and so just went Chapter 11, and so forth. So it seems like 3 come in and 2 go out. I mean, is this what you're seeing and trying to hold on to what you can? What's going on?
I think we've seen a lot of expansion. It's funny, about 10 years ago, a lot of our ambassadors that we have moved here. It's like there's a lot of new jobs, and we call it the boomerang effect when they come back.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah. So we love to see that. There are a lot of business, some do leave, but that's part of what the CCIDA does, is to help businesses stay here, grow here. So we're trying to fill in the gaps with that to provide more services, so that when you have someone that moves here, if we get them integrated into the fabric of our community, they're more likely to stay.
So what services do you offer them?
So one of the workforce ambassadors. So really what we do there is we connect you, say you just got a job or you were offered a job, so maybe you're like one of the top candidates and you're kind of on the fence if you want to take the job. We would connect you with someone that has similar interests, so they could take you around the county. We'll give them a $100 shop local chamber gift card,
Sweet.
so they could take them to lunch, take them to dinner, take them to breakfast, whatever works for their schedules, and get them to show them all the great things based off of what their interest
So
profile
like a big
is.
brother, big sister program.
Yeah, kind of like for workforce.
Who came up with this idea?
I did, so I'm happy.
Congratulations.
Thanks. It's worked in other places, and I did a lot of research into it, but Nate and Mark let me run with the idea.
Okay, well
So-
that's what caught my interest in the newspaper. I saw this ambassador program, and I didn't know anything about it. And I thought, well, I got to know more about this. And I've been a mentor to other people over the years in doing things. So let's talk, since you brought it up, how do you become an ambassador and all that stuff, and what is involved?
So right now we have 16 different people that are trained. We count one as 2 because it's 2 empty nesters in Dunkirk. But it's people that I've had connections with, and most of them actually are not from Chautauqua County, had a similar experience to me. So they really are invested in making sure that people have a good first, connection with the county when they move here or offered a job. So it could be a deciding factor for them if they're on the fence and they don't know anybody here. I met someone from Castaiga Job Corps who she's like, I don't know, she's from Iowa, she doesn't know anybody here. So there's like that, they might have taken a big job and this is a big opportunity for them, but it's a little scary when you move alone.
Well, and often they're young people that are moving away from home for the first time, perhaps.
Yeah.
And it's like you dial a friend, or call a friend, or you're a lifeline. And I think we've all experienced that. We mentioned I was from Buffalo and I came to Chautauqua County a long time ago, and I didn't know anybody here. I mean, I was like over the moon when I actually found somebody that actually lived in Buffalo that was working in Chautauqua County that I happened to know the family. I mean, but that was years later, and I was, it was kind of a lonely experience.
Yeah.
But, and that was before cell phones and everything else.
Yep.
But we had TV though. We had TV.
It's just that welcome wagon, if you will.
Yeah,
right? Rolling out the red carpet, as Monica said. If people have accepted a job and are relocating here or moving back, or as she also indicated, we've seen a lot of people that maybe they have been offered a job. And one example, a company a couple years ago recruited for a director of validation, and the finalist was from Rhode Island. Came here, he had not accepted the position yet, wanted to understand the county a little better, areas, housing opportunities, amenities. So we, would tour them, show them, the SUNY Fredonia campus and Rockefeller Arts Center and different neighborhoods and, retail opportunities. So just kind of welcoming.
Yeah, and say car, not car.
Exactly.
I have family in Rhode Island. I'm going to go get in the car.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Sorry, guys, that's how you talk. So You know, I'm sitting here thinking about, how nice it is to have this program. Where do I go to the bank? Where do I take my garbage? Where do I pay my bill?
Find a doctor.
Childcare or whatever. Yeah, so super idea.
Outdoor recreation opportunities, networking groups, volunteer, you know what I mean? Just
right. And we have social media, but that sometimes social media actually isolates you. You're not going out and doing things, you're just looking at things. So terrific. So do you have regular meetings of these groups? Or?
We do. We have a Live CHQ committee. So the overall brand we started in April of last year was, there's a similar campaign in Buffalo, Be in Buffalo. And actually they've seen a population increase. So it's been in the works for 5 or 6 years. So it's starting to work. They're getting more people to move to Buffalo. So this is kind of a sister campaign, Live CHQ. So what we did is we trained our ambassadors and everything. So the website shows you resources for getting connected to like CLN or the Chamber or some other organizations where all the different things you need to be able to live here. Choose CHQ is everything economic development, and Live CHQ is everything else. Living, we have people profiles for people that have moved here from other areas and have been successful and love it and really flourished.
Okay, so maybe we'll talk about this again before the end of the show. So if someone's interested right now in either contacting an ambassador or becoming an ambassador, how do they get connected?
So right now we have our first group of ambassadors. So I have a list of when we have so many requests, we need more. But for now, I think the 16 is enough because we want to make sure that we give all those people opportunities. But if you're interested in getting an ambassador, it's a really easy, quick form. It's free. I think there's 13 questions, including your contact information. I'd love to get these one-pagers we've developed all over Chautauqua County in places where the employees will see them.
Is there a Facebook page?
Yes, we have. It's on our Live CHQ /workforce ambassador. So you could check out the page. You can scan the QR code and get them connected, and then we'll match them based off their interest. So if you like fishing and hiking, we'll find someone. We have someone, or farming or agriculture, all those different things. We have a very diverse background and people from all over the county.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed by that. That's a great idea. Well, congratulations. I hope it grows.
Thank you.
And quite honestly, if there's anything I can do to help promote that, or if you know somebody that wants to do TV for nothing and don't get paid and just likes to be in front of the screen, I'll be an ambassador.
Great. You could be one of our brand ambassadors we're taking on.
So we'll work on it. Well, we have our little CHQ rep.
Yes.
And I think everybody here in the studio has them on their trucks.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get into maybe some slides that you brought, and maybe we'll speak to those.
Sure.
Is that a good jump off right now?
Absolutely.
All right, Jeff, let's bring up slide number 1, and I'm going to be quiet, and I'll let you all talk, and feel free to jump in back and forth. So here we go.
So, want to thank Jason Sample, our marketing communications coordinator, both for the IDA and partnership, and our whole team for helping us put this together. This is a sneak peek at our 2024 annual report, which we'll be presenting to our board later this month. But for the Partnership for Economic Growth, looking back last year, again, just this infographic highlights some of our successes. I'll highlight a few of these. Really almost involved in 60 projects, 57 projects that the partnership is directly leading or assisting partners with.
Wait a minute, 57?
Yes, 57 individual
And there's 4.5
projects.
people in your department.
And a team of partners that Monica convenes to support these endeavors.
Okay,
So,
that's a lot of projects.
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Several-
So when you say a project, what do you mean by a project?
So a project could be as small as a kayak launch in Chautauqua Lake, or as large as a $15 million shovel-ready site project in the town of Ripley. So
Right.
it's both big and small investments in community and economic development.
Excellent. Okay, let's keep going with that, Jeff. Thank you.
So we were awarded, the partnership, 15 individual grants to support both our operational capacity, our team, but more so specific projects that we're leading.
Okay, and where these grants come from? You told me the one out of Buffalo, what's his name there?
Ralph Wilson.
Ralph Wilson, I can never remember his name.
The Ralph Wilson Foundation, again, we had a huge commitment from them last year at $1.625 million.
What?
to support.
That's not a grant, that's a city.
They've been a great partner. They've seen the value in this, and
Wow.
we're actually supporting other communities in Western New York with a similar model at the recommendation of the Wilson Foundation. But that 1.625 million supports the partnership over the next 3+ years, our team, but the bulk of that goes for project leveraging. And what that is, as you know from the town of Ripley and elsewhere, so many of our partners, especially communities, they have a tax cap, they're trying to keep property taxes low, they're focused on essential services. Some of these projects just aren't, within the, budget sometimes. So we've created this flexible funding pool where we can support our partners with that required match share and grants, and to help bring more federal, state, and philanthropic resources to the county.
And I think the word leverage is really important in this discussion, because I don't think people realize that what y'all do is you enable, and I'm going to say it in my own words, a community like Ripley to get some funding and use their funding and match it with other funding to do sewer or water, or bring in some other kind, like you said, shovel ready. Well, if you don't have that ready, if you don't have the infrastructure ready, what's going to come into your village or town, right?
Sure.
But if you guys can help up front or make connections or supplement somehow or another, then you can move ahead. But otherwise, you just sit there stagnant. Am I right?
Yeah, so it's twofold. It's really that flexible funding for both planning, grant writing, moving that project along. It's the funding for the actual match requirement for bringing grants to the community and having that local share.
Yeah, and a lot of people, oh my gosh, I get this like almost monthly. Well, can I get a grant and to do this whatever? I go, that's not how it works. The grant supplements whatever, and you got to have some skin in the game to start with.
Absolutely.
And then you leverage the money. So if I've got $50, they give me $50, and I got $100, which is twice what I had, or $50,000. Now I got another $50,000. Now you're talking serious money.
Absolutely. And the other aspect besides dollars and cents is, we have 42 municipalities in this county. Only the city of Dunkirk and city of Jamestown have planning and development departments. And, they have limited resources themselves. So the other 40, you're talking about a part-time mayor or clerk.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And great volunteer board members or other village or town employees. We sort of try to act as the de facto planning and development department for those communities, to team up with them, to not tell them what to do or how to do it, but to support, encourage, direct,
guide 'em.
make connections. So that's a big part of what we do as well.
Super. Okay, was there anything else on that slide? Let's just take one more look at that one. Okay.
I guess just pointing out the other important number on here, $487,900. That's the grants that we're providing for technical support, planning, but primarily, again, project leveraging, applying some dollars to projects to help attract these federal and state grants.
And what's this $2,424,400 or $2? What's that?
That's the direct funding obtained by the partnership in 2024, again, both for our operations and for projects.
Do you realize that's the budget of our town of Ripley?
Yes.
I mean, that's why I said that when you said whatever was the one foundation, it's like a Wilson Foundation. I said, that's like a town. I mean, some of our villages, their budgets are only $2-3 million. I mean, this is big money to these small towns to have access to. That's cool. And you had these partnership meetings. This is what you were talking about
Yes,
with
these
your
are the-
master programs and the CCPEG meetings and things, right?
Yep.
We have 5 work groups, again, business development, housing, infrastructure, placemaking, workforce readiness and development. Monica convenes partners in those areas quarterly or thereabouts. We have a public-private advisory board that kind of advises us on kind of our key priorities and projects to chase throughout the year.
Can you tell us who's on that board?
So Mark Geis and Dan Heitzenreiter
I
are
know
the
Dan, I know
co-chairs.
both. Okay.
And then we're pleased to have County Executive Wendell,
PJ?
Legislator Tom Harmon. He's the chair of the county's Planning and Economic Development Legislative Committee. Greg Edwards from the Gebby Foundation.
Oh, I know Greg, yeah.
Gina Paradis from the Land
I
Bank.
know Gina.
Andrew Nixon from CCVB,
Okay.
Visitors Bureau. Katie Geis from the Workforce Investment Board. Courtney Curatolo with the JCC Small Business Development Center. Crystal Sertic and Vince DeJoy,
Okay.
Planning and Development Directors from Jamestown
Right.
and Dunkirk, respectively. Diane Hannum from
I know Diane.
Community Foundation. Tori Ergang from the Chautauqua Region
I know
Community Foundation. Sham Baggett has been involved with our group. He's a CPA from Fredonia,
Baggett, yeah.
representing the
I know
private
Dan.
sector.
Yep.
And Jessica Worsley, who's the County Environmental Health Division.
You got some heavy hitters in there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Great partners, those individuals, and then Monica, I'd say we have between 70 and 100 active participants in our 5 work groups.
And it's great to
So-
bring them together because then you talk about the projects. We bring in speakers that talk about very diverse. Our next one for workforce is we're going to bring in Northland Training Center. And sometimes we open those meetings to other partners, manufacturers. We're trying to connect with HR professionals across the county. It's because they can help us promote some of the programs that we're doing for talent attraction and retention.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something you may not know. I used to be the administrator of the Laguita Center and the Hughes Center. And one of the things back then we always had issues with was making that connection between the businesses and what we were doing in the classroom. So are you, where does that all fit in with the technical education services in the area?
It's an ongoing process, right? But I'd say Monica and Jason and our other team members have done a great job, especially with the HR contacts in the last couple months. And our IDA business development managers also have great relationships with the IDA clients they serve. So maintaining those relationships is an ongoing thing, and you know, people come and go, and keeping our lists updated. But I think we've come a long way in the last couple of years by enhancing those relationships.
Because I know there
keeping up
was,
with them.
I would talk to a CEO from whatever widget company, and he'd say, we need more blueprint people that can read blueprints. And I go to my people and say, they want blueprint. Well, we don't do that because now we do this online stuff,
Right.
you know? So it was always this delicate balance between old school and new school, and how do we prepare students to go into that field. And that was always a frustration of saying to people and their kids, there's unbelievable opportunity in the technical and trade areas in our county, and all the companies you try to bring in, if you can't develop a workforce for them 4 years from now, you know, you're always working to the future, we got a problem, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking about, you know, are those connections being made?
And especially, so our workforce work group has all of the workforce, and we also have some businesses on there, and we have new people coming in. We have someone from BOCES, from
Good.
Casadega Job Corps, BPU.
Perfect.
So also before and after the meeting, they talk to each other, and we talk about what are the challenges with each one of these work group members, and help them try to solve and facilitate those conversations.
Good.
And we also try to not duplicate what other partners are already doing.
Perfect.
Yes.
It's supporting them
Oh my
do
gosh,
their
yeah.
work that they're trying to do. You know, we award funding to the Manufacturers Association and Dream It, Do It
I
program
used to
to
be on
help
that
them
board.
Yep.
do what they do well, right?
Yep.
We help JCC with healthcare career fair.
There we go.
So
Perfect.
we're not trying to take over or
Supplement it all, yeah.
exactly. It's bottom up. It's supporting existing partners. It's filling gaps.
You know,
So-
and keeping it going year after year. You know, there's a lot of these push, these things that come and go really quick, and then it's gone, and because somebody left or whatever. So if you can get sustainability with the workforce development, that's perfect.
absolutely.
All right, Jeff, we have another slide. I want to use your slides because they were so well developed. So let's go to number 2, Jeff. All right, what's this all about? Oh, okay,
So
Monica, that's your baby.
Yeah, that's the one pager we just developed. It's front and back, and it shows if you're new to Chautauqua County, how to fill out the form and why you would be a part of this. So are you relocating? Do you have someone new at your local business that already got started but still are new to the area and definitely need those services to help them get connected to our county? And also for employers, so you could put the Live CHQ. Do you want to learn more about Chautauqua County? You could put our Live CHQ branding in our website. We have some really great promotional videos that show 4 seasons. We're not trying to hide anything. We know that we have winter here.
Yeah, but people do like winter.
Some
There's
people,
lots of
yes,
good things.
snowmobiling,
Skiing and
yeah,
everything else,
Ice
yeah.
Castle
Yeah,
Festival,
sure,
lots
sure.
of great things. So it's a quick and easy form. I'd love to get this in every single employer in Chautauqua County. So we've had some outreach events, and we're just connecting with HR professionals across all the sectors, but specifically manufacturing.
All right, so right now, if we keep this up for a minute, if somebody's watching this with their cell phone, they can
Scan the code.
scan that code with their the QR code.
Yep.
Okay, so people watching right now, get your phones out if you're interested, and click on there, and it'll take you right to that website. Am I right on that?
That's correct. It'll
So-
take you to the
see,
website.
See what I did there?
I like it. Thank you. See, you are our ambassador already.
I learned where to pause things long enough so people can get their cameras out and their phones.
Yeah.
But I do this quite often, you know. I'll watch something, I'll say, I want to know more about that, and I hit that QR code, it takes me right to that website, so that's cool. All right, so folks, if you're interested, is there a phone number?
If you go to the back page, you'll have my direct phone number and my email address.
People are listening on the radio, so
Yes.
let's give them
Oh,
that.
my office number is 716-363-3770. And
All right,
my
363-3770.
Yep.
See what I did there? You see, you gotta say it twice.
Got it.
You're gonna say it one more time before we're done.
Right? I know they have to hear it 3 times.
All right. So let's get that next graphic up, and let's see what this is all about. Jeff, you want to get a number? There we go.
So
Thank you.
these are our ambassadors. So actually on the page, you can fill out the inquiry form, and then you'll see profiles for these people. So you can actually request an ambassador, but if you don't request, you can see myself and Jason are on there. But if you don't know who you want, then I'll be able to look at your interest profiles and see if you like arts or if you like entrepreneurship. I'll connect you with a person based off that, and also geographic area.
I'm looking at these. I'm recognizing some faces.
Yeah, yeah, they're from all
Sandra,
over.
what's her last name? Lee?
Sandra Lewis.
Lewis, I
So-
know her. She's
yeah.
on the foundation board with me.
Yep, yep.
And Stanzi's been on the show here. When I wasn't here, somebody, my co-host, he interviewed her. And I see Jason, I see Monica. And so you just spot check some of these people. What are their interests? And, what would they be interested in? You don't have to necessarily say their names. Or
Yeah.
You can. It's up to you.
Agriculture, fitness, economic development, children's activities. One is a village. Colleen's a mayor, so she's an entrepreneur as well. If you're interested in arts, Jacob is our trail coordinator. So anything with the trails, waterway, blueway, the blueway trails, the hiking trails. He's always on the
Rails and
trails. He's
trails.
biking, everything. So
Yeah.
he kind of coordinates all of the trail development. So that's definitely. And these people are just people that love to talk to people. Like Stanzi at the Chamber, she's now the director of events, and so just these people that want to make connections, and we try to do it in diverse areas. Martha and Kenny are empty nesters, so no matter what, we have people with children, without children, with younger children, older children, so you can include that information so we can match you the best
Well,
with someone.
grandparents want to know what to do with the grandkids when they're babysitting too.
Right. So I'd help you in the North County. We have someone in the South County, Mid County, wherever, even out in the boonies, like Sherman.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question, and I mentioned it earlier before the show, and I'm going to say this in the most non-political way I can. Right now, we're all watching the news, and we're watching what's going on in Washington, D.C. Good, bad, ugly, I don't care. That's not the point of this question. The question is, what's going on in Washington? Will it be affecting in any way, shape, or form grants, economic development, or the future next couple of years of what's going on here in Chautauqua County? Because being in education, I know that a lot of the funding was flow-through funding from the federal level to the state level to the local level. So whoever wants to jump in on that, I just want to know where we stand right now, because people that I run into are a little uneasy, good or bad. They're confused, or they're not sure what's going on. So how do you see things?
So I want to say it was about 2 weeks ago when we got word about the memo from the Office of Budget Management, putting the temporary hold on the federal funding. Understandably so, that threw a lot of people off what's happening to my grant, my program. All indications are that all of our existing federal grants and the state federal funding that flows through New York State for economic development infrastructure is at least safe for the time being.
Okay, it's locked in and safe.
Yep, a lot of our grant awards were already awarded, we're already moving. We have done some reporting the request of some federal agencies and the status of those projects recently. But I would say it's something we should be aware of, but it's too soon to tell what specific
Take a deep breath.
reductions.
Take a deep breath, everybody.
Exactly.
Relax. Let's see how this goes.
Yep, so we received funding from the Economic Development Administration for our IDA loan funds. That's probably safe. We received funding from the EPA for a revolving loan fund for brownfield cleanup. That too, as we've been told, should be fine. We received 2 federal grant awards for our Ripley site last year. Those were awarded. They shouldn't be touched.
Money in hand, in the bank, done.
Yeah.
We're good.
Those projects, at least, we should be safe, but future funding, we'll just have to stay tuned and
Okay.
keep a watchful eye out.
And again, everybody knows this show is about what's local, and that's why I asked you that question is how does this affect us in everyday life here in Chautauqua County? So, okay, so far so good. Okay, and we might see some tweaking, we might see some freezes, or we might even say, well, what you got last year is what you're going to get this year, maybe, that type of thing. And I understand. So, Monica, you want to jump in on that at all, or are you seeing anything?
I think he covered it.
Okay, so we covered all your slides. So we still have a few minutes. So what else you want to talk about?
If you would like me to go maybe rapid fire just for some project-specific
You got
updates.
it. Go for it. Sure. Mark did this one time.
So again, this is a preview. This annual report will be publicized and on our website within the next couple weeks, but just some of the project accomplishments from 2024. Working closely with the City of Jamestown, we'll see upwards of $2 million investment to the Chautauqua River Basin and activating that.
I know they've been developing that area. Nice.
So that's a big project to stay tuned for this year and beyond. We were able to launch a Chautauqua County Grape and Grain Trail marketing program in partnership with the Visitors Bureau, Lake Erie Wine Country, and other partners to not only promote the wineries, but to also promote the growing distilled spirits and
Right.
and
I'm very
beer
familiar with all that. We're
Yeah.
at the Grape Discovery Center and all those guys.
Yeah.
tie in ecotourism and our trail
Oh, it's great.
amenities. So
Yeah, sure.
it's a $150,000 marketing
Sweet.
campaign that
Nice.
supplements other good work. A lot in the area of trail development. Last year we launched a online interactive trail map where
Sweet.
for the first time ever, all the trails are in one place, and it's not just a bunch of random spaghetti on a map. It's designed to be really user-friendly and intuitive to help you plan your visit to a trail before you go out, and then an app that you can use on the trail. You don't need a Wi-Fi signal or cell signal, just GPS to tell where you are, so you know
Nice.
you
So
can
you don't
get
get
back
lost.
before dark.
Oh,
And in addition to that map, again, that checks so many boxes with both quality of life, but also opportunities for tourism development. I should note, in the last 5 years, we've seen an investment of upwards of $850,000 on maintaining our existing trail network. Monica mentioned Jacob Bodway is our trail coordinator. He's been chasing local foundation dollars and other resources to help, again, rehabilitate some of these trails that were developed in the 60s and 70s and have erosion and wet spots. We're
Okay.
investing in our trail system.
A quick question came up about water access development. What's going on there?
Waterfront development, that would be along the likes of the Chautauqua River Activation Project, but also Mayville Lakeside Park. We helped the village get
For kayaking and things like that?
$675,000 local waterfront revitalization.
Okay, we got time
program
for
grant.
one more project, so pick one, and then I'm going to ask Monica for that phone number again.
Sounds good. I would probably, one area that continues to be a challenge, but we're really going to be focusing on this year. Last year, we completed a housing market assessment and development strategy, how we can, proactively work together to develop more housing opportunities. So you'll see a lot of projects and actions on that roll out this year
Okay,
as well.
and Monica, with the ambassador program, if you want to get in touch with you, that number
Sure.
again?
It's 716-363-3770 and visit livechq.org to find out more.
Okay, folks, thanks for joining me today. We're going to do this
Yeah.
again. What do you say?
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
How's that for
Appreciate
timing?
it.
The music starts, that means I got to
Perfect.
wrap things up. So, Nate Aldrich and Monica Simpson from the CCPEG. And thanks for joining me, and keep up the good work. This is really interesting. And folks, I hope you enjoyed to understand how things are churning behind the scenes to make our lives better and keep our industries running and mom and pop shops running and bringing leverage dollars into our economy. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to do this all again next Saturday morning, 9 to 10, and you can watch us again on Spectrum 1301 throughout the week, and you can watch us on YouTube and Facebook. Have a great weekend, and get out there and see that ice castle. Take care now. Bye-bye.